I'm walking through a ghost town, y'all ain't playing my sounds. Don't tell me to calm down, don't tell me to calm down. Only time I go backwards is when I wanna moonwalk. Don't test me, my mood's wrong, don't test me, my mood's wrong. We are who we say that we are. You were lost in the stars, and it's all from the start. Never running no pace, never on the right page, but we still read that book, and we still run that race. Mississippi Racer riding out, no shortcuts, no time for that. Mississippi Racer riding out, till the wheels fall off, I'm driving that. Mississippi Racer riding out, we'll stop burning, strike the match. Mississippi Racer riding out, red light, green light, red light, good night. 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 Red light, green light, red light, good night.
You're listening to Coffee and Sports from Wire to Wire Sports Network on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back. This is the morning show, Coffee and Sports. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. I'm here once again, and I'm with the best co-host that you can ask for on the entire planet. He's not doing good. He's doing better. He's Mo Better. How you feeling tonight? How you feeling this morning, Mo? Like tonight, man. I feel like I was still watching the NBA last night.
You know what? I feel you. I watched it into the wee hours as well. I am doing great. I'm doing well. Welcome all who joining us this morning. Let's go.
And we got a new person on here. New Monday, Tuesday guy. The guy is an NBA aficionado who knows his NFL. He fellow Eagles fan for me, but a fellow Lakers fan for Mo. I don't know if I can accept that. I feel like if you're from the Camden area, you just have to be a 76ers fan. But apparently Carmike is not. I want to introduce to the Wire to Wire family, to everyone out there, to Carmike.
How y'all doing, everybody? I'm Carmike, man. I'm from, of course, South Jersey, Camden, New Jersey. Grew up there, graduated from Camden High. I did go to college in South Carolina, for a stint. Lakers fan because of Kobe Bryant, my favorite player of all time, man. He went to Lower Marion High School, right across the way, Gene. So I'm still technically Philly, just on the other side of the mat. But I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. Let's get rolling. Before you
get rolling, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't. Because you said something that I needed to respond to. I had to respond to. You said the Kobe Bryant thing, but I don't know how old you are, Carmike. I haven't asked you that. Sometimes it's a different era, right? I don't know.
86.
Okay, so you're right by me. You're 38. I'm 39. I get it. So do you remember when Kobe Bryant walked into the league and what he said about Philadelphia? He said, I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm from Lower Marion. That's not Philadelphia. So, and he almost denounced Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, when he first started his career, he basically, I don't know if you remember the high school days, right? His high school days where he was, he went to prom with Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy went to prom together.
I remember that.
He was big timing us, bro. He was too good for us.
One key thing that you're missing is that they always show Kobe was in his house with a Donovan McNabb jersey on, celebrating as we was winning that first Super Bowl. So he's Philly. He's Philly.
I give him that credit, but he never gave us our roses.
And Philly showed it to him too at the All-Star game when they booed him that year.
He deserved it after what he said.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. But all good. I love Kobe. I've learned to love Kobe. I don't think y'all know this about me yet, but I rock the 24 chain all the time. That's I barely can see it. But 24 is for Ken Griffey Jr. and Kobe Bryant, two of my favorite athletes ever. Just the mentality and who they were. Ken Griffey for what he brought to the sport of baseball, as far as being the first guy to wear his hat backwards and at the home run derby. He was cool, man. When I was a 13-year-old kid, I was playing home run derby with stickball. We used to use a stick and a tennis ball, and we were playing home run and we were putting our hat backwards like Ken Griffey Jr. I'll never forget that.
Well,
And
I
then
ain't do the hat backwards. I did do the batting style. I like the batting style he was using. That was my thing.
the sweetest swing in baseball. But I'm tagging Micah Parsons so he can understand how amazing Philadelphia is. Hopefully, he can join us in on the. But Carmike, I apologize for interrupting you. I might have took you off your flow. First
Oh, you
time
good,
on
man.
you, my friend.
So I don't know if I love it or I hate it. Darius Slay getting released June 1st. I mean, it's gonna save us a little 4.2 million on the cap space. But as far as I feel about it, I hope we re-sign him because I don't think Cooper DeJean is ready. But anyway, they're releasing Big Play Slay. Mo, how you feel about it?
You got to make the thing in this business in the NFL. Money is the thing. And look, big play Slay was a big part of the Eagles, a big part of that team, helped them win the Super Bowl. But I think the Eagles have no shortage of young talent in their secondary. More importantly, when you've got that dominant a front four that can do what they can do, your secondary is covered. I think your secondary is covered. And you've got the best GM in football, Howie. Like Howie's doesn't do anything without a plan A, a plan B, a plan. Like he's got a plan. And while I know they value Darius Slay, I think in the bigger picture, he's not part of their future. Howie makes moves 5 steps ahead of every other GM. So here's the thing is, don't feel sorry for Darius Slay. Somebody's going to pick him up. The guy can still play football. Somebody's going to pick him up. But I think this is a smart move by the Eagles. I think it's a forward-thinking move. It's the business. The money is the money.
Mo, you said something that really stood out to me, right? The Eagles defensive backs coach, his name is Christian Parker. So they asked Christian Parker about who's a young cornerback on the team that we should really look out for. And he didn't say Quinyon Mitchell. He didn't say Cooper DeJean. What he said was Kelee Ringo. And you're talking about a national champion corner from Georgia. You're talking about a guy that was supposed to be a first-round draft pick that slid because Marvin Harrison Jr. abused him in a semifinal game. That's why he slid. Like, call a spade a spade. Kelee Ringo was a first-round draft pick, and then the best wide receiver coming out of the draft abused him when C.J. Stroud was throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., and he slid to the 4th round. Now this guy's worked in Philadelphia for 2 years with his teammates, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, like Nolan Smith. He's worked with all these people in Philadelphia, and he's waiting his time. And he's on a rookie contract as a 4th rounder. You have to know what he brings to the table. Isaiah Rodgers, you know, a lot of people don't know how quietly good of a year he had last year. And he has all but told people that he is going to take a discount to sign with the team that believed in him when he got suspended for a year for gambling. Cooper DeJean, obviously on a rookie deal. Quinyon Mitchell, obviously on a rookie deal. And the $4.2 million that you're talking about the Eagles saving this year is nothing compared to what it's going to save next year. So they're getting the dead cap out of the way now because you got to sign Jalen Carter. You got to sign Nolan Smith. These guys are going to come up on extension soon. And if you let Milton Williams walk, you have to re-sign Jordan Davis. You can't just help everything hits in the draft. That's not realistic. It's not real. Now, am I upset that Darius Slay isn't finishing his career as a Philadelphia Eagle? I'd be a lot more upset if he didn't just come off winning a Super Bowl.
Correct.
We did for Darius Slay exactly what Darius Slay did for us. We took him out of a impoverished organization in the Detroit Lions and gave him an opportunity to win. He helped us win a Super Bowl. So I feel like both parties got mutually beneficial relationship. And is there an opportunity for Darius to re-sign in Philadelphia? Absolutely. If we can sign him post June 1st, we can absolutely have some success with that. But Carmike, what's your opinion on that after what I said? I just want to hear.
I don't know if it's Ringo. Ringo's got some growing to do, but I like Mitchell. I like the Jeans groove. Mitchell has played really big for the Eagles, man. He came up with some big plays against some tough receivers out there, and that helped us a lot in the secondary. So, but I need to see more Ringo. But I don't think DeJean Ray. I think we need to probably if we could get him for a brotherly price. I would take Slay back so he can, teach them young boys some more stuff. Cause he was playing big. He was playing big, man. And I wanted him. If we could run it back again, I would love to run it back with the whole secondary. I mean, they do got some dogs on the D line coming in the draft, so we could pick up some more young boys that can, where we ain't got to kill the cap so much. But
I think
that's how I feel about it.
they're absolutely gonna kill the cat. I think they're gonna go all in again. I've made this projection a month ago when everybody told me I was crazy and the Philadelphia Eagles can't do it. Now they're the favorite to sign him. I think the Philadelphia Eagles go out this offseason and get Myles Garrett. And I think if you lose Josh Sweat, you lose Milton Williams, but you add a Myles Garrett and you put him opposite side of Jalen Carter and you make them decide who they're going to double team. It's like, what are we going to do? And by the way, your cornerbacks are only as good as your pass rush in the NFL. Corners are important, right? But if Darrelle Revis had to stick somebody for 5 seconds, for 6 seconds, they're going to get open eventually. I don't care how good of a corner you are. If you don't have a pass rush to get at the quarterback, those receivers are getting open. And Howie Roseman has proven to you, and the Eagles have proven to you for years, that you build your team inside the trenches. Your defensive line, your offensive line are the most important things in the way you build a championship contender. And I'm okay with it, right? And if we can get him back for cheap, awesome. If he goes to Detroit, it'll be a nice ending to a career in which he started in Detroit. But he feels like he has a year left. I don't disagree with him. I would love to have that veteran leadership there, but you can't sign everyone.
True. You do know also Josh Sweat, Zach Bond, and Milton, they all on the block this year.
Yeah, I understand every single one of them. I think I've been on record. I think the Eagles re-sign Mekhi Becton. I think they'd make a valiant attempt for Zach Bond. I don't know if they get Zach Bond back. I think that Milton Williams and Josh Sweat are going to get overpaid on the open market. That's where I think happens in Philadelphia. And look, once again, you cannot sign everyone. You remember Zach Bond was basically a practice squad player that got brought in and ran Vic Fangio's defense. Sometimes, and it's not always, but sometimes it's the scheme. It's not the team. Talent always matters, right? But the scheme of the defense will make a player better or worse. I'll give you one example of that. Yeah, as an Eagles fan, you should know this, right? You remember Nnamdi Asomugha?
I'm not even an Eagles fan, and I remember that year, the pain.
He was a number one corner, and the Eagles signed him to this huge deal, and they tried to have him play zone when he's been a main corner his whole career, and he was a failure. Remember DeMarco Murray, the rushing leader, went over to Philadelphia, and Chip Kelly's trying to have him run out of a shotgun set when he's a single back set. Scheme makes team. They go hand in hand.
I don't know. I think football IQ and talent also, because you don't remember that year, the first year we won when we what was it, 18, when we had Alshon Jeffrey and all them. Our secondary was getting trashed that whole season until the playoffs. Then they stepped up, but they was getting cooked all season.
They allowed 500 yards versus Tom Brady. They got cooked in the Super Bowl too. Like, let's not pretend they played great in the only thing they did was they had a very good game versus the Minnesota Vikings in Philadelphia.
They killed them.
If you remember that Eagles team in 18, and this is where we're going to go back and forth, and that's fine. That Eagles team in 18 was only good at home. They were terrible defensively on the road. And that was the entire year. If you look up the splits, home and away splits of that 2018 Eagles defense, you're going to be like, oh my God, 3 points to the Raiders, only allowed 10 points here, only allowed 7. They're on the road. 34 points to this team. Like the Commanders, they beat 38-35. Like, what are we doing? They could play good defense at home. They could not play well on the road.
I don't know. I mean, Darius Slay was getting cooked that year too, man. He came up big in playoffs, but that secondary was horrible.
Well, in 18, he wasn't in Philadelphia. 18, he was that was Pat Robinson. That was Slay wasn't in Philly for 18.
Wasn't he? I swear
no, he got traded in 22, I believe. To 2 Eagles. Let me get you the exact date. I don't want to lie to you. Let me just pull up Darius Slay stats. I want to give you the exact time. I don't want to give you any. I don't give you any stories. He joined the Eagles in 2020. I didn't know he joined in the COVID year. I thought he joined the year after, but he joined the Eagles in 2020. But
2020.
we'll get into it. We got to move forward, though. We got a lot of topics to talk about today. Want to bring up another one, NFL topic that is super important. T. Higgins got franchise tagged again. And this is a guy that's been very active about not wanting to be franchise tag. Last year, he wasn't going to play on the franchise tag, and then he eventually played on it. T. Higgins is a guy that Cincinnati, I think they tagged him so they can try to figure out a way to work a deal out with him come post June 1st when they have a little bit more cap flexibility. So I think the tag is to not allow him to hit free agency. But if you're T. Higgins, look, I'm charging tax to the Cincinnati Bengals at this point. You want to work a long-term deal out with me after June 1st, after every team has addressed their needs? I'm charging you tax. You are not getting a hometown discount to keep me here. I'm now charging you extra. Or I'll play out my last year on my franchise tag, and then you can't franchise tag me a third year. I'll become a free agent. So if T. Higgins is back as a Bengal, Mo, if you're T. Higgins, right, the negotiating leverage that you have in this situation has to be, oh, no, you're giving me a little extra now because you basically didn't allow me to see my open market again. What's your thoughts on that, Mo?
I think that's exactly right. If I'm T. Higgins, I'm going to ask for the moon. I'm going to ask for a deal close to what you're going to give Chase, even though they probably won't give it to him. I think what he's going to end up doing ultimately is he's going to ride out this last season with them because I don't think they're going to work out a deal. They're not going to work out a deal because he's not going to give them a hometown discount.
Correct.
So he ends up playing out this last season with the Bengals, and then he leaves them high and dry. That's going to happen to me. I think this is going to be his swan song season with the Bengals. This is all about money. He's a terrific player. And look, like you said, teams are trying to fill out their rosters now, and he could be a number one somewhere else. And they're kind of preventing him from doing that. They're preventing him from maximizing what he could do in free agency. So, yeah, I think this will be his last season with Cincinnati. Look, it is the worst run franchise in football, and it's been that way for a long time.
You're speaking nothing but facts. I've told you, impoverished franchises make impoverished moves, right? You have a $1 million Jaguar, and you got some bicycle tires on that Jaguar. That doesn't make damn sense. You have Joe Burrow, who listen, I've been on record. I know it's wrong. If I was starting a franchise today, I would pick Joe Burrow over any quarterback in football, over Pat, over Josh, over Lamar. I'm not saying he's greater. I'm saying if I was starting a franchise today, I would take Joe over anyone. And I think that Cincinnati Bengals have done nothing but fail him. But your thoughts on T. Higgins, Carmike?
T. Higgins is up in the air to me. I don't know if he could be a true one for like by himself with somebody, because it's been too many instances of players who've been behind a top receiver, such as he's paired up with Jamar Chase. Juju was with Antonio Brown. Then they branched off, tried to go get his own team. Trash. Just trash.
Not lying.
I mean, I don't know about T. Higgins, but honestly, if I was the Bengals, I would have just let him go. They need to get a line. Joe Burrow need a line. He's back there getting trashed like Andrew Luck was getting trashed behind the Colts line. Then he ended up retiring early because he was getting beat up bad. Joe was on that path. So if I was them, I would have just let that tag go. Hey, go get you a lineman. There's some linemen in the free agency, man. Like, help your quarterback back there. Like, if he got time, like you said, even mediocre receivers can get open if he got time. So, honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do with the Higgins. They should have just let him go.
And you got to pay Jamar Chase. You can't pay two wide receivers.
Mr. Triple Crown. He got the Triple Crown too. That's gonna be too much money for him.
Facts. I completely agree with you. I think that the T. Higgins thing, you need to let him walk. If you can get trade value for him, trading him on the tag, I guess. I don't know. I don't think he's worth much on the tag because you got to sign him anyway. Like, what are they going to pick up a 6th-round draft pick to trade him on the tag? I'm not a fan of it.
I mean, you could trade him to a team that he want to go to, and he'll end up re-signing with them. That's the only way.
Yeah, but if you're Washington, right? Washington's the team that he's been linked towards, and they just signed Deebo Samuel, right? If you're Washington, or if you're New England, who wants him badly, New England needs a number one wide receiver, like
New England needs everything.
Yeah, right. So if you're one of those teams, why are you giving the Bengals a 6th round draft pick or a 5th round draft pick for the rights to overpay a wide receiver? When you're on a franchise, like think about the Christian Kirk deal. The Jacksonville Jaguars had to overpay Christian Kirk to go to Jacksonville because people don't want to go to Jacksonville. Like, it's the truth. They don't want to go. If you're T. Higgins, you want to go play for a top quarterback, right? You don't want to go play for Drake May. It's a young up-and-coming quarterback. I want to play for Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen. Like, I don't want to go play for Drake May. I mean, he might make it. And then I'm going to go play up there in 10-degree weather.
I mean, to be fair, we don't even know what Drake May can really do.
Go ahead.
I said, to be honest, we don't even know what Drake May can really do because New England, they got the largest cap in this year. They don't have nobody on their team. So Drake May, they need to do something for Drake because it's looking bad out in New England.
They're going to spend this offseason. Other news. I'm gonna let y'all two go first on this because I probably have a controversial take on this, and that's okay. If you've listened to me before, you kind of know where I'm going. Quinn Ewers says he is the best quarterback in this draft. Quinn Ewers of Texas says he's the best quarterback in this draft. Currently, he's ranked 3rd or 4th, depending on what site you look at. But Quinn Ewers stating this. Your thoughts on Quinn Ewers saying he's the best quarterback in the draft? We'll go Carr, Mike, and then Mo.
I think it's good for you to be confident as a quarterback, but don't overdo it. If you know, like Cam Ward is a dog, he gonna come in and be a great quarterback. Shedeur, I'll say he got an arm on him, but I think he still needs some more development. But Quinn, I don't know. I mean, him bouncing back and forth, but it was bouncing back and forth between him and Archie all year. So I don't even know if he really that good. If he was bouncing, splitting touches with a young boy that they really wanted to take over from, they ain't really want to bench him that much. But I don't know. It's good to be confident, but I just don't know until I see him step into the NFL. Like, what you think, Big Mo?
I think that he's not living in reality. I think he said something out of pocket. Maybe him and his agent got together. I'm not sure how you can be the best quarterback in the draft when your university, they weren't really sure you were the best quarterback on your own football team. I think Quinn Ewers is a guy that's going to go to the next level and end up being a career backup. I don't think he's going to be an elite quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a franchise quarterback. I think he's just going to be a guy. And we've already got a lot of guys in the NFL. So he can say whatever he wants. And maybe it'll work. Maybe some team will believe he's our guy. He's the dude that we target. But if I'm drafting and looking for a quarterback and he's there and I have other needs across the board, I'm going to address those other needs first.
So the biggest, so this is where I'm going to read this to you real quick. And I'm going to ask you if this is Josh Rosen, who said 9 other teams are going to regret not taking me first, or if this is Aaron Rodgers, a guy that slipped to 26 and he had all the arm talent in the world, but had issues in college that he wasn't picked number 1. John Suggs says he would take Jackson Dart over Ewers. That's the 3rd or 4th guy that we're talking about. Ole Miss is Jackson Dart. So you obviously have Shedeur. You have, listen, you said it perfect, Cam Ward. And then you have Jackson Dart. I'm going to read you what scouts are saying about Quinn Ewers. Displays willingness to go out and compete through pain. Performances in road games at Alabama in 23 and Michigan in 24 stand out. Makes it look easy when he's working in rhythm. Arm talent to make trick shot throws from a variety of angles. Gets the ball out in a hurry with just a flick of the wrist. showed good pocket mobility to slide and deliver in 23, has games where footwork is clean and delivery is sharp, capable of making touch throws from off platform, throws with consistent accuracy on boot action rollouts. His negatives: can be fooled from pre-snap to post-snap looks by defenses, needs better eye manipulation to hold safeties and linebackers, gets stuck on his first read regardless of coverage, stares at primary receivers and will throw them into collisions. Lazy footwork forces receivers to break stride to make a catch, will throw late and put too much air under downfield throws, must improve his feel and response to edge pressure. That are his pros and cons from scouts. I'm going to make a statement. In 5 years from now, I mean, obviously this is all situation dependent. In 5 years from now, we'll all be laughing at the fact that Quinn Ewers was valued as the third or fourth best quarterback in this draft. I think Quinn Ewers is the best quarterback in this draft. I think he's by far the best quarterback in this draft. I think from a quarterback arm talent perspective, his arm is absolutely everything that you need. If you put Quinn Ewers in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan and the way they run their offense, he would make Brock Purdy look like a fool. He'd make him look like a fool. And what I mean by that is the situations and systems matter. You know where I think the best landing spot for a guy like Quinn Ewers to go? I think he should go back to the state he tried playing quarterback at in Ohio State and play for the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski's rollout offense and play action scheme is perfect for a guy like Quinn Ewers. I think that Quinn is a big game quarterback. He showed you that with wins at Alabama and wins at Michigan. Where he lacks is he turns the ball over too much. So he needs, like, if he gets drafted in a defensive scheme where he's asked to, like, manage, he's going to be terrible. I promise you, if he gets drafted in a situation where, like, it's a defense first mentality, don't go out there and lose the game for us, Quinn. Like, if he gets drafted to Pittsburgh, that's a bad look. Like, that's not what you want. You want him drafted to an offensive scheme where, you know what they did with Carson Wentz in 2017 is Frank Reich goes, this is the situation. You throw here or you throw here. Like, they cut off half of the field when they were teaching him how to learn the game of football. He needs to go to an offensive coordinator that will allow him to develop his understanding and reading coverage. Quarterbacks don't walk into the NFL just knowing coverage.
No, I actually agree with that. But that's one edge of the sword. The other way to look at it is he could be Joe Burrow, or he could be Jameis Winston. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I agree that culture and system, where you go, matters. Let's be realistic. He's not likely to go to one of the better teams. So I don't know if he's going to be what you say he is. Off of what I see, I think he's going to be one of those guys that you ride a lot of highs and you ride a lot of lows. I think he's going to be a guy that might throw 28 touchdowns. He might have 19 or 20 picks to go with that. I just think that's who he's going to be.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because his biggest problem in college was he would just bad turnovers. Like, if you look at Quinn Ewers' numbers, like, even versus teams that he should be destroying these teams, he'll have 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like, why? Why are we doing this? Like, he would have errant throws, but then you look at situations where the 2-minute drill where he has to hustle and he's at the line of scrimmage, like, he couldn't be better, right? In those situations where the thinking is out and the instincts are there. This is a former 5-star 99 rated quarterback that got signed to Ohio State. Like, that's what he is, right? This was a guy that was given the reins to be Ohio State's starting quarterback, and then CJ Stroud wanted to stay another year. So it's like, all right, screw that. I'm going back to Texas, where I'm from. He was going to be the better version of what Will Howard was this year. Quinn's got it. It's just whether or not he walks into the right situation. You don't want him to walk into the wrong situation. So part of the thing that makes me excited about Quinn is he probably won't go 1 or 2. He probably won't go to the Giants, which is a bad situation, right? He can go to a situation in which they're trying. John Suggs said this, and I'm telling you right now, he could be Tua's backup in case of another concussion. I'm not trying to be weird when I say this. If you put Quinn Ewers in a quarterback room with Tua's obviously going to start next year. But if you put him in that situation with those wide receivers, then they're going to get rid of Tua at the end of this year. Him throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and that offensive scheme, with that arm talent, with that arm strength, no.
Actually, I think they're going to define somebody else because I think Reed want to leave. He want to leave.
Cleveland, please listen to Gene and don't destroy Cam Akers. Gentlemen, that's the next topic on the agenda. This is a very deep class for running backs and defensive linemen. I think it's a deep class for offensive linemen too, but there's a lot of defensive linemen in this class, right? Carmike, I love to hear your thoughts on this college class that's coming in and where you think a lot of these guys rank coming into the season. Obviously, you have Ashton Jeanty, right? He's the prize of the running back room. He's going to walk in and be your 3-down back. He's going to be your Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to be your Saquon Barkley. He's going to be your elite running back in this class. Christian McCaffrey taking 8 overall. Bijan Robinson taking 8 overall. Ezekiel Elliott taking 3. Saquon Barkley taking 2. He is going to be that running back. Outside of him, is there guys that you really like in this class?
I don't know, because the simple fact that people are not really respecting the running backs still, even after Saquon had the season that he just had, people are still looking towards wide receivers pretty much running backs that are wide receivers. So I feel like a lot of running backs that can catch are going to find spots. The rest of them who just can't, they ain't going to really find a real home because they're moving away from that ground and pound pretty much.
Bro, I love John Suggs. John Suggs is my guy. He constantly says things that I'm on before I even get to say them. So, John, I appreciate you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But he literally went into what I was about. I literally have the guy's stuff up in front of me, and he talks about Omarion Hampton.
Hampton's going to be a beast.
Oh, I love Omarion Hampton.
He's going to be a beast, I think.
Go ahead, Carmike. I apologize.
Oh, you good, man. But like I said, there's pretty much those who can catch is going to find themselves a place, and other than that, can't really say who really looking towards wanting a running back like the ones that are coming out. They're really good. It's a very fast draft class, man. Like as far as running backs wise, speed, they got the speed. Speed is crazy on a lot of them, and also the defensive linemen. So I think whoever getting them fast running backs, they're gonna also combat it with trying to get them fast D linemen to catch them.
So you say that, right? And I don't disagree with what you're saying, but there's the running backs that I see in this class, the ones I value, are all guys that are over 200 pounds, right? Ohio State's got 2 guys that are going to win the top 4 rounds. Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson are both guys that can give you that home run ability with TreVeyon. But who I think is the better running back in that situation is Quinshon Judkins, who is your every down back, right? The 40-yard dash is important, right? But the number 2 running back in this draft, the top 2 running backs in this draft, Jeanty runs a 4.42, and Omarion Hampton, who's 221, runs a 4.46. Can you imagine this man running a 4.46 and being 220 and hitting you in the hole? Like Omarion Hampton is going to be an every down back. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. The guy runs a 4.57, but he's an animal. He's strong as hell. So when you look at the running backs in this class, the one you need to look out for that's a burner, that's a speedster, that has a lot of Devon Achane in him. He's not as good as Devon Achane, but he reminds me a ton. He was an every down back at Tennessee. His name's Dylan Sampson. Remember the name, Dylan Sampson. He is a guy that you can look at in this class and go, I mean, that guy can give you that Devon Achane type presence. But remember, these speed backs that you're looking at, they're not every down backs. They're often injured. When you run fast, you get hit hard because sometimes you hit that hole and someone catches you. So I think the running back class is deep, but I think it's you have to be selectively deep. Like a guy like
I think the only one that's probably going to go is Gentry. I think he's the only one that's going to go in the first round.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody else goes in the first round. I agree with you. But that's the first round. Running backs don't normally go that high, but they're deep, right? Ranked 8th in this class. Mo, you remember watching the college football playoff game? Cam Scatterbo out of Arizona State, that big, strong, like he looked like Mike Allstott, man. It's Peyton Hillis.
He was a hoss. He was a hoss.
Like Scatterbo is a stud. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I'm just riding your coattails. He is a hoss. He is that guy. I think somebody's definitely going to go. I mean, if you're looking for somebody that can carry the ball 25, 30 times, short yardage situations, goal line, and has the potential to make a long. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but he's a horse. I think that guy's going to be a very productive player at the next level.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, Carmike, I know you've seen Cam Scatterbo. Another guy that was in the college football playoff that is very underrated in this draft is Jordan James out of Oregon. Kid's a stud, man. He's fast, he's quick, he's elusive, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He does. I guarantee you, Jordan James will make an impact like a Bucky Irving made in Tampa Bay, like that style. You remember where Bucky Irving went to college, guys? Like, there's a lot of these guys that are coming out in this class. Are there any defensive linemen that you're looking at in this class, Carmike? Somebody that you said is a deep class. Defensive line.
I'm hoping the Eagles get that Georgia boy, man. Get another Georgia boy, man. Mikael, was it Williams?
I would love that, man. He's a little bit. He's gonna go a little earlier than we would like him to go. But bro, trust me, if we can get him in here, he's rising on a lot of trade. He's an edge rusher, right? But if you got to make your decision, right? Are you going to go after Myles Garrett, or are you going to try to strike gold and get this kid and put him opposite Nolan Smith?
Why not do both? Because I don't know if we really gonna keep Myles Garrett that long, or we might have problems with Jalen Carter down the line, or because Jalen Carter got a bad attitude on him, you know. So I mean, but with them young boys winning so early in their career, they're gonna be worth a lot of money later. So you might as well have a backup plan. Why not continue on the train? Let's get it if we can. Get another Georgia boy in there. If we can get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, he's pretty much about to go on the back end of his career, so he about to be cooked soon. I think he touched you.
But if you're the Eagles and you're in this moment and you've got the squad that you have to recognize that this is your opportunity to win a second Super Bowl or a third. Like you could take over where Kansas City left off, and they could talk about you that way. Like you're in this moment, you have to seize it. This is right now. You have a dominant offensive line, a dominant defensive line, best running back in football, and one of the best quarterbacks in like right now. You go for it right now. Like I know we often talk about the future, but if you're the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, the future's right now. So you make the Myles Garrett move to do everything you can to extend this run as long as you can.
I got a question for you guys about this draft, and you're right. James Pierce is 100% a sleeper. John Suggs is on it, bro. College repertoire is insane. But I got a question for y'all, and this is a fun one. If you're a team that's like New England, right, or you're a team that's like the Raiders or a team like the Jets, and you're in this 4 through 7 range, and you have a choice, right? Travis Hunter, who's looked at as the best prospect in this class because he can play both ways, or McMillan from Arizona. And I'm going to give you, I don't know if this is bold. I think Travis Hunter is a better football player than McMillan is. But I think McMillan is a better wide receiver than Travis Hunter is. Now, granted, in the NFL, I don't think it's really fair to think that Travis Hunter can play both sides at an elite level. It's just the way the game is played, as fast as it's played, as hard as it's played. Would you take if you need a wide receiver, right? And you can use a little help at corner. Would you take a McMillan or would you take a Hunter?
I would take McMillan, obviously, but they got in the draft class, they got Travis Hunter. He ain't even in the wide receivers. I mean, he's labeled as a top DB going into this class. So honestly, if you're just looking for somebody to play wide out, I would go McMillan. Because I don't think Travis is going to be able to play both ways. The game is too brutal. Them dudes is too big. You ain't going to be able to keep getting hit by fast, big linebackers and linemen all game long and survive your career. Like even Dion, he was faster than most of the most of the guys out there, but he played wide receiver for a short stint and stopped. But he ain't gonna be. I'll take McMillan. Honestly, he's a better wide receiver.
Mo,
if that's what I'm looking for, if I need a wide receiver, a playmaker to complement my quarterback, then I'm taking McMillan. I think Travis Hunter is a terrific football player. It kind of reminds me of the Deebo Samuel's argument. He's a better football player, but if I need a wide receiver, McMillan's the better wide receiver. It's that easy for me. And I don't think Travis is going to be like an elite receiver at the next level. I think that you play him at corner, and maybe you have a couple of gadget plays, maybe an 8 or 10 play package for him. But I don't think he's going to be able to be like a second or a third receiver on a football team. Like cornerbacks have so much responsibility just playing their own positions. He might want to play both sides, but wherever he goes, I don't think they're going to play him both sides a lot.
I agree with you. I don't even know if this is a controversial take. And I think it says a lot to Travis Hunter that I think he's a top 5 wide receiver in this class, and obviously a top 5 corner in this class. But when you take a guy at 3, 4, or 5, I want him to be the best at his position. And I don't think Travis Hunter is the best corner in this class. I think he's second. And I don't think he's the best wide receiver in this class. I think he's 4th. So is that disrespectful to Travis Hunter? I don't think so. Maybe Travis Hunter fans will, but I think
you don't think he's top in either position?
No, I think Will Johnson from Michigan is the better corner. I think he proved that to you in the national championship just a year and a half ago. I think Will Johnson is the best corner in this class. And I think as far as wide receiver go, I think McMillan's better. I think that Luther Burden's better. I think there's a couple wide receivers in this class that are better than him. And, I just there's nothing against him. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
But to say he's the best at 2 different positions on the football field, like, what would you rank him? Do you think he's the best corner? And I can hear the argument for him being the best corner. I can. He's a shutdown corner. But
Will Johnson, yeah, he's like that. He's like that, man. I say him and Travis is tied for the 1 spot in the corner. But as far as I give Travis, he's a good wide receiver. Like, he got hands and he's fast. But I don't know, maybe he's number 6 in the wide receiver class, man. But I don't think he's top 5 in the wide receiver class, because I think there's just better wide receivers than him. You got McMillan, you got Golden, you got Burden the third, you got the bull from Ohio State.
He's not going to come out though. He's Jeremiah Smith. Are you talking about Emeka Egbuka?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say Jeremiah Smith would be easily the best wide receiver in this class. Ryan Williams is going to be one of the best wide receivers in the class. He comes out, but they can't come out yet. They're too young.
But other than that,
Emeka Egbuka is not on the same category as Travis Hunter in my opinion.
He's a top wide receiver, man. I mean, he's one of those you're gonna sleep on him in the league. But I think Travis is a top corner. I think he should play defense.
I'll say this about Emeka Egbuka. I think Emeka Egbuka is the most overrated receiver to come out of college in the last 10 years. He's a 4-year wide receiver out of Ohio State that has never been wide receiver 1. Ever. Never. Even this year, it was this year, it was wide receiver 1, Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver 1. Now, granted, Jeremiah Smith is generational. Marvin Harrison was wide receiver 1 the year prior. Like, go back. Garrett Wilson was number 1. Like, his first, he's never been the number 1 wide receiver at his own school. But you're going to draft him to be the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL? Hell out of here. It's not against Emeka. Emeka is going to be a good possession guy. He's going to be a very good, move the sticks guy.
Yeah. third receiver.
Not first rounder.
He's gonna be somebody. He's gonna be a very good third option as a receiver.
I don't know. I think he could be the 2. I think he could be a Juju Smith.
Correct. But do you want to take a number 2 in the first round of draft?
I think he could be. I mean, usually they need develop. It depends on who you got. Like if you're somebody who got a top receiver and you need him to have a running mate, because everybody needs a running mate, I would go with him. Maybe he can develop into it like Ayuk. Ayuk turned into a 1.
But would you draft him that high? If I knew that your ceiling was a number 2 wide receiver, I'm not drafting, because you can get a number 2 wide receiver in the 3rd or 4th round. I'm not drafting you that high.
I mean, it depends if you need a receiver. I mean, I ain't talking like he should be, top 10, up there. He maybe the bottom of the first round, or maybe the top of the 2nd round. I mean, he's solid. He's a very solid receiver, man. He could develop into a 1.
I agree with him being solid. I can see a team like Carolina drafting him that high because they do stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll fold up in Carolina, man. That's too much pressure out there, and plus, they still got a quarterback situation to deal with in the Carolina. They down bad.
It's just a lot of conversations about this. We'll get more and more into the draft as we get closer to it. I do want to move on because we only have 13 minutes left. We got a lot of topics, but I'm going to skip a couple. We'll use a few for tomorrow. But one of the things I did want to talk about is the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the Gervonta Davis Roach fight. If they overturn the draw, would you be okay with it? Mo, I'm going to go to you first. I know that you have your thoughts on that fight. Just wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, they should overturn it. It actually isn't a draw. Tank lost. He lost. That should have been a 10-8 round. If it's a 10-8 round like it's supposed to be, he out loses. So if they review it and they overturn it, they should overturn it. I think Tank's one of those guys, and he's got the rep that he's all about it. I don't think he came in with the right mindset for that fight, because I think he didn't respect his opponent. I don't think he thought much of Roach. I really thought that he thought he could take him out whenever he wanted to, and he messed around and got into a fight that he wasn't ready for. And Roach dominated the second half of the fight, slipping punches, countering. Like there was a couple times he almost dropped Tank. Like I would love to see the rematch. I hope it's one of those rematches that we don't have to wait a year for. Like that's what hurt boxing now. We have to wait too long to get great fights. I'm sure Roach is ready to go. I hope Tank is too. But if you saw that fight, anybody that saw that fight from beginning to end, I don't even know what's going on with that referee, because that's basic. You can't just take a knee. Nobody, even if you don't get hit, you can't just randomly take a knee. That's 10-8. It's that simple.
I completely agree with you. I think that that they should 100% overturn that. It's not like we're talking about like a judge's scoring decision. We're talking about a referee that's seen the fact that it did not call the fact that his knee touched the ground. Do you have a different opinion on this, Mike? Because I think it's kind of obvious.
No, I mean, through and through, I just think he came in not prepared for this fight, and he almost took one, just like Tyson when he went in with Buster Douglas, or anybody who walked into and think you just was about to, like, I think Davis was about to retire. He wanted to retire, and they pulled him back. Like, nah, we need some more out you, and he just messed around and thought he still had it, and almost got took. Actually, he lost his one, but he almost got knocked out. It was about to be a career ender for him.
Do you think that that they protected the zero for Tank?
Yeah, of course they protected.
That's exactly what they did.
Tank is the name.
Zero.
Roach don't have the name. Tank got the name, so they trying to keep. Vegas want the money to keep coming in. That's what that was.
I'll do a fun question for y'all because I don't want to skip over the topic. But start bench cut. Gervonta Tank Davis, Terrence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. You got start one, bench one, cut one.
I'm starting Bud. That's easy. That's not even close. I could bench Canelo, but after he get beat up by Bud, he won't matter as much. But I'm starting Bud. The other two, you can flip a coin on that.
I think I'll go the other way. I'll go Davis and then Bud.
What?
There's no way.
Davis in his. Or wait, are we talking about Davis when he was actually in his prime and hungry for this, or are we just talking about Davis now?
This is prime versus prime.
Yeah, I'm going Davis first, man, and then Bud.
Really? I mean, I'm just saying, like Bud. Every big fight Bud he's in, he wrecks the other guy. Look what he just did to Spence. Like that wasn't even a fight. That was a legal beating. That was a legal beating administered. That was horrible. He wrecked him. Like I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Earl Spence will never be the same. He will never be the same fighter again. Like mentally, he will never be the same. Like I remember when Mark Breland got beat down when he was undefeated. Never came back from that. When you get beat up like that publicly, the only way you can rectify that, you would have to fight Bud again and beat Bud. And I would advise him not to fight him again because the same thing would happen. So he will never be the same fighter again.
He hasn't fought since then. So Earl Spence hasn't fought since then.
We don't fight either after that.
But I would agree with you. I was actually going Crawford, Canelo, and then Tank.
Yep.
But just an opinion. I think you have to overturn the fight, though. Back to the question at hand. All right. We talked about this yesterday. I kind of want to get your opinion because I see the Lakers jersey now. Are the Lakers? I know Mo's opinion, right? We talked about yesterday. Are the Lakers a legit title contender? Period.
We a title contender if we get a legit rim protector.
You can't get anyone. It's over. What are you getting? No, you can't do that. As currently constructed, who are the Lakers a legit title contender? And take the fandom out of it, bro. They don't have a rim protector. It's gone.
Right.
So you can't say if they get a rim protector, Carmike. You can't do that.
I believe the Lakers will get there. I believe they'll get
this
to
is
the
fandom speaking, bro.
I think they get there, but I think they ain't gonna survive it. I think they probably get gentlemen swept after Luka and LeBron exert everything they have just to get there. They gonna get gentlemen swept in the finals. But I think they can get there.
I'll stick with what I said before. I give them a puncher's chance, depending on the matchups. But I think that when you have to play playoff basketball in a 7-game series and everything's slowed down, it's all about half-court execution and defense. If you don't have a rim protector, if you don't have somebody who can clean the glass and end possessions, I don't see how they get through it. Like I know everybody loves them now, and all the pundits are talking about they're 12-2 since Luka came, and look at them, and now they're second in the West. This is the regular season, and if you really look at it, since they've had Luka, they've played one really good team. To their credit, they beat Denver, but they haven't played anybody during this run. I just honestly don't see them as title contenders. I see them as a team that might get to the second round. I think this is a honeymoon period. I don't even think they've resolved the Luka and LeBron thing. I think they're literally winning on sheer talent.
1 week from now, you're gonna have a lot of conversation to have, right? Thursday night they got a home game versus the New York Knicks, in which they're gonna get beat, and then Saturday night they got to go play at the Garden, in which they're gonna get beat.
They're gonna get beat at the Garden? I don't know, man.
They're gonna get beat by Boston and Boston. Look, in order for the Lakers to win the NBA championship, they need a run like they had in the bubble, where they don't play anyone that's the best team. Like, they need other teams to take out the better teams. Like, you need the Cavs in the final, not the Celtics. That's what you need. And you can hope for that. And that's what I think that's what Mo means when he says a puncher's chance. Like, of course they have an opportunity if the matchups fit. But, bro, I'm going to tell you something right now. If they play the Rockets in a 7-game series, they're losing. And I'll tell you why I believe that. The Rockets are going to run those old men out of the gym. Like, they're going to run them out the gym. They're too athletic. Now, granted, some other team can take the Rockets out. I think they match up well versus other teams. I think they beat Memphis. I think there's no problem there. I think they've, like, I don't say solved the Nikola Jokic problem that they have in Denver. I can see them beating Denver. I don't know, man. Like, some of these teams, and look, OKC is different, right? I haven't seen anybody perform on the grandest stage of them all outside of SGA. So we have to see what ends up happening. But they need the matchups to fit. They need the matchups to fit.
I mean, the
And they
schedule
don't have it.
the Lakers got the second hardest schedule going into the playoffs, so we'll see. We'll revisit. We'll see what happens.
You're gonna know in a week, bro. You're gonna know in a week. Yo, this is their schedule coming up, bro. This is their schedule. They got the Pelicans. Okay, you get another bye game tomorrow or tonight. Fine. Then you have the Knicks, Celtics. Then they gotta play Brooklyn. Then they gotta go play at Milwaukee next week. Then they gotta go play at Denver next week. So 4 out of their next 6 games. If they go 4-2 in their next 6, and 2 of them are gimmies, you got to beat New Orleans and you got to win at Brooklyn. But if they go 4-2 in their next 6, that goes 6-0. They go 4-2 in their next 6. We can have this conversation, right? We can have that conversation.
I just want to remind people in the postseason, what do people do? They pick out the weakest link. When you play the Lakers, people hunt Austin Reeves. Now, when you play the Lakers, they hunt Reeves, they're going to hunt Luka, and they're going to hunt LeBron. Like, I hear the pundits talking about how great they play defensively. They haven't played anybody. When they play teams that have guys that are shot creators that can attack you on the perimeter, and there's no rim protection, which means you got the helpers got to help the help. Like, they're going to have to send people over. You're going to find out how really good they are, because you can't hide Luka and Austin Reeves and LeBron. Somebody got to play defense.
You know, LeBron is playing. He's in top 5 MVP talk, but he having his best year since Miami.
Yeah, I look at the numbers, and I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for what he's doing. But again, when you watch the Lakers game, like I watch Lakers game all the time. He ain't guard nobody. LeBron by default always guards like the worst scorer or the second worst scorer, the lead, whatever you want to call it. So I get it. He's putting up big numbers, and it's a terrific season for him. But and don't get caught up in numbers. This current version of LeBron, even though the numbers say so, is not better than 2013 LeBron in Miami. That is one of the best, if not the best player in NBA history that season.
Facts.
He was, but he's shooting the 3-ball way better than that LeBron.
But listen, this is what I need out of you, Carmike. I need you to take the fan hat off and put the analyst hat on.
Right.
And I need you to look at what the Lakers do well and what they don't do well. And if I was an opposing coach and I was facing the Lakers, I don't even have to scream to get a bad defender on me. You have a 40-year-old LeBron who is most of the game a bottom 15 defender in basketball. Austin Reeves, who's not a good defender, and teams go out and hunt him. And then you have the worst defender in the NBA in Luka. Like, you don't even have to hunt for a bad defender.
You're right.
Can you imagine what Boston's going to do to them?
I'm going to tell you what the Lakers been doing lately. Same thing the Eagles was doing the year we had a terrible secondary. They're trying to outscore people. They're keeping the score rolling. Now, the way people are going to beat the Lakers is to tire out LeBron and Luka. Once you tire them out, then, yeah, it's going to be a different
That's why
game.
I think the Rockets are a bad matchup for them, because they're going to run them. Like, and on paper, I think that the Thunder are a bad matchup for them. Now, granted, in a 7-game playoff series, I love Luka. I love LeBron's playoff experience. Like, I get it. And JJ Redick's done a great job of hiding the weaknesses. But, like, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a great listen, I say this all the time. The MLB is better when the Yankees and the Red Sox are good at baseball. Basketball is better when the Lakers and Celtics are good at basketball.
Facts.
It's not a bad thing to say that. But we got to wrap up. Carmike, I really, really appreciate you joining the team.
Appreciate you.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a great working relationship, chemistry. You got great opinions. So I can't wait to continue these conversations with you each Monday, Tuesday. I hope you hop on Thursday night with Mo and Brett for M1. I appreciate everyone's support just in the chat. Mo, you being the best co-host of them all, close us out.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have on Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. My man Will I Am will be on with Mo. Hey, you never know. I might pop on again. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wire to Wire Network. I'm the NFL Gene Sheen Walzak. That's Carmike at Camden, and my man Mo.